Welcome to the Travel Winds, your gateway to the world of professional travel. Dive into the lives of athletes, entertainers, business leaders, and musicians who master the art of traveling for work. Uncover their strategies for balancing life on the road and at home. Today's episode is brought to you by Buzzell Watch, the ultimate companion for every traveler. Embrace the journey with the Travel Winds, where every second counts, just like with a Buzzell Watch. Hey, welcome back to the Travel Winds podcast. Today my guest is Ash Kumar. He's the CEO of IMRnext. I'm pretty stoked to talk to you actually because I love VR. I love virtual reality. I love the goggles. And your setup is is it the first wireless?
I think there have been wireless technologies, but I think when it comes to IMR stands for immersive. So when it comes to wireless, people are limited by how good it has to be to give you that experience.
Okay.
So our technology that gives you that edge, or you can call it a high performance wireless, which is what needed for VR, because VR is kind of unique. Because if you think of projecting something onto Netflix versus VR, Netflix will know what to show the next image as, whereas in VR it does not know, because depending on where you move your head, it has to bring the image back from the piece onto this. So it has to be very instant. So our secret sauce is the space at which we can get this information out to you. So you're fully immersed into it and there's no lag. And that's our differentiation. So yeah, VR is the best use case of our technology, but it can go across in multiple verticals.
That's cool though. Yeah. Do you get to play with it a lot?
I do, but I think the team out here, which is much younger, they are much more passionate in playing. I'm more on show me the data.
I got
how
you.
good it is. So yeah, but your team loves it. There's some young developers and professionals.
Well, I appreciate it. I think it's the morning for you there, right? Right
yes,
now?
it is.
You're in Australia, so.
Yeah, it's 10 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's getting dark here, so.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm very happy that I got you in between travels.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
You know, between the holidays and now, you said you were jumping off to go to Las Vegas and then San Francisco and Houston, and
yeah,
and that's why
that's
you're on the show.
The life of a traveler, isn't it?
How do you like? I mean,
go where you need to be.
What do you do on the? It's what, a 18-hour flight from Australia to LA?
I think that's where you catch up all the stuff that you have promised people and you haven't done it. So I just park that. I know I'm traveling, and I can get through all of that very quickly. So anything that is non-critical, that is the place to be.
Exactly right.
To calmly go through that.
You just made me think. I'm thinking I should take a trip, like early December, like a really long trip, and then take all my Christmas cards with me, so I could sign them and fill them out.
And not a bad idea.
And have the time to fill them out.
So you call it a business trip for signing cards.
Exactly. Well, yeah, because with me, I'm always traveling in December for work as well. And so then I get home like, oh, I got like 6 days to get all my car. I'm like, oh God, I should have done that a month ago.
No. So I definitely use the time. I think the other one is any leftover time is to go to the photos and clean that up.
Yeah.
Clean your mailbox. So there's quite a bit of cleanup happens while you're in the air.
Do you watch movies, or is it just a combination?
No. Yes, I try. I try to get into the time zone of where I'm traveling. So if I'm getting to a city where it's going to be the morning, then I'll try to take a nap. If I'm getting somewhere where it's going to be night, then I'll definitely keep myself awake no matter what.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, usually if it's a 16-hour, I think the TV time or the screen time would be about 3 hours at the max.
I got you.
I just limit that. Yeah.
When you go to CES, are you gonna have a booth there, or are you walking around trying to network?
Yes, we do this time. It's a scaled down version of what we wanted to do. Okay. But we're definitely there because there's some good meetings lined up there. So it's a good place to meet and see what everybody else is doing.
Sure.
More than showcasing your own tech. So for us, CS is about meeting as many prospects as we can. And
Do you have shows similar to that in Australia?
Yeah. So we started in Australia as a company, and over the last years we have expanded, into US and working towards making US as a home for the company, and have the dev team based out of Australia, whereas all the business out of US.
So I did some research on you. I have to ask, do you take a backup to every meeting now?
Yes and no.
That's one of my questions I always ask, because I saw where you went to Tokyo and you had some issues.
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, and think about a guy who is overweight, has to run at 35-degree. It's not a good look, especially in a calm country like Japan.
Yeah,
They like
very
something
respectful
crazy happening. Yeah. So I had to do that. I think that's kind of it's kind of, if you think of it, and I was thinking, why did I do that? I could have chosen to have a meeting other day, and said, can we push it out? But I think that's the rigor of entrepreneurial mindset, is if the opportunity is in front of you,
take it.
you go, you do what it takes. And if that makes you look a bit strange, and so weird. So it was, running back was okay. Just between coming back to the Sony office and getting to the meeting room, you have to get rid of all the sweat. So you have to calm down very quickly. So I had to go use my meditation breathing exercises so I can quickly cool down, so I can get in the meeting room
And act like you didn't just run. That's called acting, Ash. You'd be good here in Los Angeles. That's awesome, though.
With having no hair, the sweat flows very quickly.
It just comes up.
And it shines very bright as well. So yeah, you have to be more careful.
Your hosts were like, he's sweating from going to the bathroom.
Yeah, he's like, there's some serious health problem. This man,
It's the Indian food. That's awesome, though. Because I always wonder, like, I've musicians that travel, and they have a guitar that they use, or a bass or drum, and if it breaks or it gets lost, or doesn't make the trip, what does everyone do? So it's like, it's the same way. They all have the same, hey, you make it work.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why, kind of, as you said, career backup is like, yeah, sometimes there's a thin line between confidence and overconfidence. That was an overconfident move that, that's good enough. It's going to work. We don't have to carry anything extra.
You hope, right?
Yeah. So no, it was a good experience. It was a big laugh in the office.
Now,
they had a running man in the office for a few days.
The running man, there you go. You get a lot of running men memes.
Yeah, absolutely. In the office, because they're a young team here. So they and we want to keep it that way. But, you have to have a lot of fun when you're doing serious business. Otherwise, you can start taking yourself too seriously. So no, we don't want that as a culture. So yeah, I was the man.
It was your turn. Your turn to feel the stress. I was going to ask you, as a tech company, is the U.S., I mean, what obviously you want to saturate Australia because that's your home country and freight and everything else.
Yeah.
But in Tokyo's.
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. If you think of it, you have to look at, when you say market, yes, I mean, US is a big market by default. But I think that there's few other things US does great, is their appetite to try new things out is much bigger. They try to take risk. Appetite is much bigger, and every ticket size is bigger in US by default. So if you want to kind of develop at a fast pace or grow at a fast pace, because technology, differentiation, you have to move fast. You can't be slow and steady, and then the only the only country you can think about is US. So yes, there's plenty of room in Australia, but for us, I think US, especially in the enterprise market, is a big role to play, and that's why it is important for us to grow ourselves there. Whereas we can do the tech side of it or the development side of it based out of Australia, but I think if you want to capitalize on the value, then you have to go to the market that has got the right environment,
Well,
and
just a matter of
and
people
it's
too, right?
culture and the environment, to be very frank. Yeah.
Because that's Japan's, you got Tokyo, which is 38 million, 36 million people.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's California's that many people.
Yeah.
It's hard to scale. I try and tell people, like, there's more people in California than Canada.
Yeah. And I just say, I mean, and that's it's a good comparison between US and Japan,
Mm-hmm.
but both have done very well when it comes to tech. But the Japanese approach and the US approach is vastly different, because whereas Japanese approach is slow and steady wins the race, you have to be super cautious, but if you're doing the right thing, you will get there no matter what.
Yeah.
And as a country, if people say yes to something, they haven't become a use and throw society yet, So they stick to things much longer, whether it's people or technology or whatever.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense. Whereas US and majority of the Western world is technology of, I want something now.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to get rid of it and get something better tomorrow. I don't have to live with it for long. And that creates a very kind of exciting business approach to creating products, solution, going to the market. And that's why it is so exciting, US market, because it enables you to do all those things faster. So that means you can fail fast, learn fast, and you can grow fast. And so, yeah, that's my take. And, kind of studying in 3 different countries, starting from India, then Australia, and then Harvard in US. It's kind of, you get to learn a lot more than seeing places, is the psyche and the mindset and the approach. And I feel that I'm very lucky to be able to have that kind of exposure and knowledge and understanding, so I can really assess and analyze where do we fit and leverage those opportunities.
Well, I think and maybe it's just me, but business travel 30 years ago it was work. There was no internet, so you couldn't just look up prices. You had to have a travel agent. You had to do there are a lot of steps.
You have to rely on a lot of people,
right. And now today I can get done with you and book a plane to Australia and get on the plane tomorrow morning. Just out of with the internet. And
we
book
just
a car and everything else.
Yeah, we just did a family trip to 10 countries in 25 days to Europe and back. And it was pretty much as you said. If you don't have Google, you can't drive.
Google Maps,
Google Translate.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan is so much easier because you don't have to think. You said, okay, I've got a Google Translate. I can or a Translate app, and I can see what they're saying. I can listen to it. I can talk through it. And in one meeting, we did have that, to be very frank. We were having a meeting in Japan, and it's post-COVID that was, and there's 2 guys we were supposed to meet. So one who knew the English very well, and he was the key person, and he had COVID the same day.
Geez.
So then there's the other person we were meeting, and he had nothing, absolutely yes, no, and thank you was the English.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, it was like as if 3 people in the room with phone in the middle. So talk to the phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That way, and that's we did. I mean, it was a slow meeting, but we did it that way.
Well, I did it. I used a translator for a Japanese singer. She spoke almost no English, and so the president of her record label spoke really good English, and he translated for us.
Oh, really? Okay, is that a bit risky, because words don't translate exactly in lyrics?
Well,
Yeah.
here's how weird it was. So I was like, man, I need a translator on my side, right? And then so I was talking to my daughter, who's 28 now, and I was telling her, I said, I have a guest in Japan, but I need a translator. So I don't know what to. And she goes, do you remember Rue? And I'm like, yeah, one of her friends from middle school. I go, yeah. Oh, he's a translator for Sony Records. That's what he does for a living. And I'm like, get out of town. So I call him up.
It's a full-time job.
I've known him. Yeah, his job was translating here. He worked for Sony here, and he would translate for.
That is, I've never crossed my mind, but it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, so somebody I've known since he was like 10 is now on my podcast, and we're doing a four-way. It was cool. It was awesome.
I'll go and hear that.
It just, it's one of those things. It was meant to work, but you imagine. And I always tell younger people, it's like, imagine, let me take your phone away and no computer, and then you go travel.
Yeah, right.
What would you do?
Yeah, even with the generation I'm from, I have done that. I feel scared.
I showed my daughters how to read a map. I'm like, okay, look up the address, go to G6. They have to find the quadrants.
I mean, think about it. I mean, for me, growing up, you didn't have a mobile phone.
Nothing.
And you will plan to meet someone somewhere. And yes, the people might be stuck, they might be delayed, they don't show up. All of those scenarios were real and they happened to us.
Yeah.
And if you look back, and like, how would people do it? And it's like I was the one who was part of the society. And now I feel scared about it.
Well, so I'm just waiting for the day where you have a VR goggle set. Because like right now I can go on Street View on Google Maps and actually see where the parking structure is, how big it is, what color, and I'm waiting for the day when VR will take me there and I can look around and use it, and it's gonna be incredible.
So we know that I had a company a couple of years ago, and we looked at using VR for aged care, so people who can't travel. Or they have mobility issues, and they want to see the world, and we use Google Earth and VR and things like that to kind of get them into those spaces and make them feel living in this virtual world, and with some great results. So obviously it was not part of it, was just an idea that we pushed to other people, and they have trialed it. So it is becoming kind of mainstream in a lot in AR as well. So you can augment yourself into the world. And
well, I'm saying someone could go to the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
Like an experience walking up to it and then sitting in the seat and looking around and.
Yeah. So the things, I mean, that, as you said, the physical distance is still there, but I think virtually you can be very strongly connected.
Yeah.
And experience a lot. And that's where the name IMR stands for immersive. So that's why we got the name for IMRnext as Immersive Next, because we really want to focus on that aspect of technology. So VR can be one vertical. You can use it in defense.
Yeah.
You can use it in health, where you want to make sure there's no delay when you are doing an operation. So, and you can see the visuals quickly and fast, so you can react to it. So all those kind of use cases where you need to interact with a real-time video.
Just a latency, right?
Without any delays.
You can't have any lag.
Yeah.
Because I saw some on your website, which is IMRnext.com.
Yeah.
Not AU, but it's .com.
Yeah.
But you show the side by side of the pixels.
Yeah.
When it's moving and all that, and how much clearer yours is.
Yeah, and that's the differentiation we have. So when we get a lot of kind of inquiries about our tech, and for us is, if you don't have the need to interact with a video instantly, there are the other technologies out there. So we just work on that premium
that one
need for instant. If you want video at the speed of thought, we are the one. So
That's just all your engineering and everything, right?
Yeah. So that's where we kind of sit and differentiate. And for us, as you say, when we talk about growth and expansion and everything else, it is all about how can we apply the same technology in different industries and vertical. So VR is a good use case to show, because you will see that the impact of that is very visible. So for us, using the tech in VR was our way to show the world, look how good we can be and what impact we can make. And now from here on, I think since last year, we are looking into how the same technology. So we are licensing the technology.
Yeah.
So how we can license it to other industries, other verticals, and that's why US is an exciting place.
Yeah, and coming to CS, I always think like, do you guys just sit around and go, how else can we use virtual reality? You know what I mean? It's like, because like if you go to car dealerships, you could now show people different options just instantly, and they could walk around the car. They could.
Absolutely, that is correct, and that is somebody, I think, is doing it, or they have reached out to us. I know that, because now the car yards they don't want to stock that many cars. Not cars with every color and every option. So you want to be able to just view the car, put the goggle on, and that's why you want to go wireless, because with wire you can't move around.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
well, I was thinking like RVs.
In the periphery, you can technically in VR you can move around the car and experience the car. And as a matter of fact, we have got clients who are using the technology in manufacturing and design. So instead of how can we design something and visualize it using VR, so we can say, yep, that is instead of trying to create a 3D clay models and things like that, you can quickly visualize things in VR. That means you can do it faster, you can do it cheaper. So there's plenty out there been explored and experimented.
How about this? All just come to my head.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining like if the World Cup, if you set up a VR camera or however however that's done, you set that up at a World Cup event, and if you have the IMRnext goggles, you could attend the games.
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be incredible.
And those use cases are great, because what you're trying to do is, where you can't be physically there, can I get you there virtually?
Yeah.
And give the similar experience. And if we can, then VR is doing the job.
Because I mean, the few things I've done with the goggles, is just walking through, and then they put me on top of a platform, and I was looking at like hundreds of feet down. I thought I got vertigo. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's funny to watch those videos.
Yeah, I was like, no. That was real.
Yeah. So as you said, I mean, we know that to get a good quality VR, you have to have cable connected and things like that. Whereas what we are saying is you want to have absolute freedom. That means you need to have the same technology and no cables connected, and you can still experience the same video quality. And that's our focus, to create a word, cordless word.
There you go. I was going to ask you, as far as the traveling, how does the family feel about you being going to San? You're gonna be gone for what, 2 weeks probably?
It's a constant negotiation.
I like that.
I think you have to. I think the way I have gone about it, for me, that has worked is when I'm back and when I'm committing my time, then I'm committing my time. Then I can't have that look. When I'm back, I'm still busy at work.
Right.
Because that does not get the balance right. So yes, I mean, it is harder when you're away from the family, but and moving a family with you is not smart. It's not easy either. So it kind of makes sense to have an anchor point from a family point of view. But for me, is when I'm back, if I've got a couple of days assigned to the family, then it is family time.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm on the phone or a laptop and sitting next to the family and
When you go on trips for,
yeah. So fully present when I'm there.
yeah.
That's my way of kind of managing my way in and out from a travel point of view.
Is that hard?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's
I
hard for
mean,
me. I mean, I've
yeah,
always, my brain's always moving.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
so,
same with me. I mean, I don't mind traveling, but is the family company, as you said.
yeah.
You miss sometimes. You want to be there. The doctor is doing a performance somewhere, and you're like, okay, I'm not there. Record a video, send the video to me. So
Yeah.
those things does a bit, but I think it's also it's a valuable lesson to the kids to say that, look, if you want to enjoy the life you want, you have to make the choices.
Yeah. It's
And
kind of it's
yeah,
it's
so I
balance, but
don't mind it from that point of view. Yeah.
I'm so happy that FaceTime exists.
Yes.
You know,
Agreed. Can't agree more. Yeah.
it definitely helps the traveling.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think it. I mean, there's positive as well. It's not, yes, you miss the family, but I think you value the family more as well if you travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a negative, but that's a positive. Then when you come back, you want to be with the family. So
Do you ever take the wife with you?
I have done one or two, but I feel emotionally stressed
Yeah.
because when wife is there, you want to spend time with the wife, and then like, no, hang on,
Yeah.
I'm traveling with one of my colleagues, and it's not fair on me to have my wife with me, and he's traveling himself or herself. So I just feel emotionally not right. So
Right.
I just feel it that way, and that's the reason. Not that the time is an issue. It's more about how I feel about it. In general,
Yeah,
I
because you're
feel
usually traveling with the other
yeah,
staff that you have.
yeah. So and if I'm allowing that, if I'm doing that, then everybody should be doing it.
Yeah. And
Which
then it
is
becomes
which
twice as
becomes a working holiday. That's not going to work either. So it's better to keep work to work.
But
For
my wife's pretty
business.
good with that until I go to Hawaii for work.
Yeah.
Then she's like, I
I
can
go to
go.
Hawaii, so that's a different story.
Yeah, she's like, I can go. I'm like,
She can go on a beach
oh,
and
you want to go to
find
the beach while I
find
go work,
opportunities.
right?
Yeah,
That's how it works too.
yeah,
'Cause I go, it's still a work trip. Like I have to work during the day. And she's like, yeah, I know.
yeah,
I'll be fine.
yeah. Yeah, I know one of my friend. He travels with his partner, and if he doesn't tell you, you won't even know he's traveling with the partner
Yeah.
because he'll be doing the meetings and he'll go out for drinks with us, and he said that's the deal.
Yeah.
You have to have absolute freedom when I'm traveling to do what is right for what I'm there for,
Yep.
and whatever is left is yours.
Well, that's what
And
I always tell. It's like, even with my wife, like, because when I'm on the road, like when I go to Dallas, I mean, I have
yeah,
dinners with my customers. I have dinners with the companies I represent. It's
yeah,
like, oh, it doesn't just end at 5,
no,
So
yeah. At home, when you're at home, it can end 5, but when you're traveling, you want to cramp in more. You want to do
yeah,
more time. Yeah.
yeah,
So I agree with you. Yeah, I have the same.
same deal.
Yeah.
So, what do you think I wonder how virtual could affect travel.
As I said, I mean, people who can't travel, they can virtually travel.
No, but
Mm,
okay.
that-
Let
yeah.
me
And the other
trying to
thing
think.
is, yeah, I just want to kind of talk about Apple. Apple launched and one of my friend said, I'm going to buy it, the Apple goggles.
Yeah,
And I was like, but you're not into gaming or VR or anything like that. He said, oh, I want to use it when I'm traveling, so I can watch my movies that way. So I never crossed my mind that yeah, that's a good use case of why watch a screen when you can be fully immersed. So it can really give you the escape when you're traveling to be fully immersed with VR, AR, or whatever it is, and experience a more immersive travel experience. So your
yeah,
travel looks less taxing on you.
yeah.
long trips at least. That can be of huge value.
That's what I'm
People who
thinking.
can't
Yeah.
travel, can use VR. And there's a lot of work in augmented reality where you put the glasses on and suddenly you are part of somebody else's world. And so where the maintenance guys and support guys, they do all of that using that, so they can say, okay, it just on demand, it tells you what to do if you're fixing a machine and things like that. So it should help in general, reduce travel a bit. It should help people who can't travel to still experience some of it.
Yeah.
And those who travel can make it much more immersive and enjoyable when they're traveling. Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty cool over the next decade or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as you know, technology is kind of very unique. Every time something new comes in, the whole world stops, and that is going to be the bee's knees, and then it goes through a reality check. And I think VR has gone through that exercise of a reality check and also knowing the limitations and the boundaries and the strength. And now I think it is resurfacing the right way with more realistic expectations of what it can be. And because it had this honeymoon period a couple of years ago, I believe, then now VR is going to change the world as with everything else that comes new. And so I think it is the right place for it to mature. And
I'm sure you hope so.
Good value. Yeah, and good for us.
Yeah, exactly.
From business sense, yeah.
Well, other than the website, which is IMRnext.com, what's the other ways for people to follow you and see what's coming up?
I mean, LinkedIn is a good way. Got to people connect through that and follow the journey. We do have under IMRnext, we do have another company that does some work. So so I am as standard socials, I'm always there. And I think between the company and the social like LinkedIn, a professional journey can be catered for.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Ash, I appreciate the time. It's I love talking to business people because you end up tweaking my brain a little bit.
I could see that your brain is really thinking hard about different use cases for VR.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of those industries. It's just like, I mean, I'm now talking to someone in Australia with a video chat that's live and no latency, So you sit there and you go, okay, if they can do this, at what point can they do?
Yeah. So in Tokyo Game Show, when we were there, people were kind of pulling avatars and going into a chat room or a dance room, and they were collaborating and dancing together.
That's crazy.
So I'm doing in my place and somebody's doing at their place, but in the VR world, they're all together collaborating. So that was a fun experience to watch because there's a big screen we put in there, so I could see what others are doing. Yeah. So I think, as you said, I mean, technology has helped eliminate the challenges of connectivity, and I think VR and other technologies are going to further facilitate that and make it more immersive.
Can't wait. That's just how my brain works. I'm like, I'm ready. Let's go. Okay, no worries. We'll touch base when I'm in LA, and we can take you through a VR journey. That would be cool. We'll sit there. Oh, that'd be awesome. I can't wait. So we'll do that. I'll definitely stay in touch with you, and then same here. Lovely. I really appreciate the time and have safe trips. That's all. Thank you very much, and same to you. Everybody should be safe in their travels and be cautious. And I'll do the same. And hopefully we'll cross paths when I'm in LA. Shoot me an email. If I'm in town, we'll get some food. I will do that. All right. Thanks, Ash. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you.